Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah and good evening everyone. After a quite long period of time, I came live again and inshallah will continue to give you update. So I was in holiday and I visited Saudi and Bangladesh. So around 3 to 4 weeks, I was a bit behind. Unfortunately, I couldn't communicate to you through my social media. Today, inshallah, I'll speak a bit about Asylum and the Rwanda plan, as you've seen on the my headlines. The reason I choose these topics today because I'm so happy uh, after I back from holiday. Not because I was in holiday, because I made a couple of further submission around 6 months, 5 months, 7 months before for Afghan nationals and some Arab nationals, and Alhamdulillah, I was receiving email from the Home Office that your BRP will deliver on that day. But I was surprised that I haven't received the decision yet. How come BRP come? So similarly, when I came from back from holiday and I found in my post couple of decision. That's mainly I made a further submission of the asylum seeker from Afghanistan because a lot of people in the UK from Afghanistan who seek asylum who came in the UK as a child. Unfortunately, the asylum claim has not been successful. What the Home Office did and currently still they're doing the same things is they accept whether you come from Syria or in Arab or you come from Afghanistan, wherever it is. They accept as a child, grant you temporary leave to remain for 2 3 years until you become 18, and once you become 18 then they refuse the asylum seeker on the ground that either inadmissible or you the story you tell is not credible, so some reasons that just refuse it. So these types of many nationals, refugee, are in the UK. Unfortunately, their application is they are so fed up with the Home Office, with with the solicitor. They're complaining about the solicitor not doing anything, and so actually sometimes the lawyer can't do anything because I made a couple of application at the same time, and I made application before that. Although my 2 years old application is still is pending, and that the application I made 6 months before further submission in Liverpool, the decision has already came. So it is not, we shouldn't blame the lawyer or anyone. Sometimes the Home Office, the way they deal with the application is unfortunate, very unfortunate, and many people actually sometimes become victim of their systematic abuse. But anyway, today I'll speak about the Rwanda plan. What, as I said, what is the future and what the current position. Before I gave the current position is, I'll give you a bit background why the government, I mean the Priti Patel, was so proud of her Rwanda plan and decided to deport, taken where so many asylum seekers from the UK who will come across the border. Where is the plan gone? So basically, when in April May they made this plan, so it was expected this will be challenged, and it was challenged. I would say unfortunately the challenge was not successful initially in the UK court. So first challenge was brought detention aid, a couple of charity mainly, and then it was challenged in the High Court. High Court refused the injunction or judicial review challenge, and then it was challenged to the Court of Appeal, and in the Court of Appeal also refused, and it was very strong case, and from my opinion many the leading charity and including the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights intervened, and they actually took part in the case as an extra party in the case, and in their analysis of the Rwanda plan, UN High Commissioner for Human Rights stated that the plan was unlawful, and that is, in carrying it out, the UK would not fulfill its legal obligation as a state and has signed the Refugee Convention, and that receive asylum seeker seeking protection, including asylum aid, freedom from torture, all the leading charity, some jointly, some of the case individually, they challenge the Home Office decision. And unfortunately, the Court of Appeal reject again, and then that matter lead to the UK Supreme Court. And in the UK Supreme Court, basically was not a good result outcome. So 14 June 2020, the Supreme Court of the UK refused permission for the case to be appealed from the Court of Appeal. And that is the end of the matter. But not end. The UK court, the remedy from the UK court, that end. So the flight supposed to be fly, I think in the end of June. So the last resource, the last challenge faced by the Home Office, the Priti Patel, was the ECTHR. So one of the leading solicitor firm in the UK, which is I think Duncan Lewis, they had a 6 client. The last flight was around 6 or 7 asylum seeker, the refugee was on that flight, and that the last issue, the Duncan Lewis, the firm, they challenged the to the European Court of Human Rights, and the 6 individual, the 6 individual who were set to board the flight, that I said that particular night, that night it was challenged, and then they were then able to apply to the ECTHR, European Court of Human Rights, for injunction decision to apply to their case to the last minute as well. I think is only less than 2 hours before the flight was taken off for Rwanda. So just 2 hours before the flight, that was a challenge, and because of that challenge, the flight didn't take off, because by this time when it was challenged, the 6 individual has to be removed and the flight was empty. And then the last things was what currently the whole process of Rwanda plan is in Supreme Court, whether the plan is lawful or unlawful. But more likely that plan will be declared unlawful, and that is the one of the important, and many times we have told, and we gave this update, that where if you don't get a remedy from the UK Supreme Court, still you can go to European Court of Human Rights, despite the conception that we are not in Europe, because European Union and European Court of Human Rights is 2 separate organs. UK still member signatory of European Court of Human Rights. So still the jurisdiction of Strasbourg jurisdiction is applied in UK, and therefore if someone not get the appropriate remedy on human rights or any other law which is covered under Human Rights Act, Human Rights Convention, European Convention on Human Rights, someone can go to the European Court of Human Rights and get a positive decision. And Rwanda plan is one of the prime example where the UK Supreme Court refused the injunction, but European Court of Human Rights allowed the injunction application, and then the flight was stopped. So that was Rwanda plan. So we are waiting for a decision from the Supreme Court, UK Supreme Court, and then see. Hopefully, we're expecting a positive for the refugee, the asylum seeker. Now, I'll give you some basic information about asylum claim. Information means this is what every person who seek asylum in the UK, he need to know. Because one of the problem, one of the issue we are facing as a immigration lawyer, if you have, when we deal with asylum claim in the Home Office, especially I'm most of the time I do appeal. I appeared in the court, in the tribunal, to represent my client. So when I see, and Home Office mainly they are used to it, when someone's claim asylum, whether you come from Afghanistan or you come from Syria or you come from Pakistan, wherever you are, or Bangladesh, everyone are telling the more or less similar story. And sometime apparently, or which I could say that it looks like a prima facie that the story is fake, it's not a credible story. So you have to be honest with the authority. You have to tell the real picture behind your life. And bear in mind that if you want to claim refugee status, you must be within the definition of refugee, because the Article 1 of the UN Convention 1951, which is basically deal with the refugee. So if you are familiar with this, and if you can set yourself, if you are within this definition in Article 1, then more likely you will get a refugee status in the UK. And exactly same definition adopted by the immigration rules. So if you come to the UK, now one thing you need to also, I think I would respectfully would like to tell that if you want to claim refugee, now before you get status in the UK, you are already a refugee as soon as you within the definition. And the definition, I think I'll put the word, which is, if anyone owing to well-founded of fear of being persecuted. So you must be a well-founded of fear of being persecution. So if you have a fear in your heart, if you have fear of on your mind, on your heart, on your face, and if this fear because of your reason of race, religion, nationality. Now remember, it is not necessary you have been persecuted, or you have to be prosecuted by your country, by the authority of your country, or by the people or social group or family. As soon as you can establish by evidence and fact that you have a well-founded of fear of persecution, then you can claim you can be a refugee. And what are the days? So first, owing to well-founded of fear of being persecuted, and because of that, by reason of your race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular social group or political opinion. So these are the criteria. Because you have a fear, of because of, you have a fear, well-founded of fear of persecution. Why? Because your race, because of your religion, nationality, membership of particular social group or political opinion. Now, one of the issue we said, for example, if anyone from Bangladesh want to seek asylum in the UK, every single 90% people seek asylum, political asylum, which is very popular them, and they tell that same story. Either I do the BNP or I do the Jamaat Islami, and they will tell a story which more or like or less is more similar to other asylum seeker and seek asylum. Currently, many students are doing these things. So this is, I think, a conception that only political political people been pursued. But no, you can also claim asylum if you persecuted, or if you have a fear of persecution because of your race, because of your religion, because of your nationality, membership, color, sex. So all this is within the definition of refugee. And what else? And so you must have a well-founded fear, and you are outside of your country nationality and unable to, or owing to such fear, is unwilling or avail himself of the protection of that country. So here is the point. One of the issue what we see, if you claim asylum in the UK, you shouldn't get protection from your own country again. So that is a conflict. You said that I will be persecuted if I'm required to go back to my country, and I have that fear. On the other hand, you hold a passport of that country. You plan that once you get your refugee status, maybe you will go back to your home country, get married, get your wife. No, this is a conflict. So my first advice: if you want to seek asylum, surrender your passport. Don't keep it. Don't get protection from your country. And you must be, of course, in the UK or outside your country. And because of the fear you own, you are unwilling to return to your home country. So you don't want to go to your home country. That is the main definition of refugee convention. Now, there are what the Home Office do currently. For example, if you come from Karachi and you seek asylum in the UK, the Home Office will decide to deport you in Islamabad because this city is safe for you. So that's why you need advice from a lawyer. And when you go to initial interview, you need to put forward your case honestly, with a credible manner. The story have to be genuine with supporting evidence. And because there are lots of case law where internal relocation is not appropriate in some circumstance. So if you get a proper advice, prepare yourself for interview, especially before the substantial interview. It is very important to have some consultation with a lawyer who are familiar with the Refugee Convention, who are familiar with the refugee asylum cases, decision of the Supreme Court, decision of the European Court of Human Rights, and decision of the Home Office, the way they conduct interview, especially the policy guidelines, the country report. So who have wide knowledge about all this area, it is better to have a consultation. Now, seeking asylum is very easy. You don't need to go to a lawyer before. But if you are this is a basic definition, which is you don't need to be a lawyer to understand it. So the procedure, if you have a fear of persecution, well-founded of a persecution by your country or country authority or police or any social group or family, even if your family, I'll give a perfect example. For example, if I'll give two examples. If you are converted to another religion, for example, if you are a Muslim, if you convert a Christian, if you are a straight person and become a gay, so these types of social persecution is still a very high level, even from the family in some of the country. So that is, you don't need to prosecute it by the government, or you don't need to prosecute it by the country. You can be prosecuted by your family, by social group, by society. That all should be included in your interview. And importantly, evidence you need to provide. Now, this is something, what if you don't understand that what evidence I can produce if, for example, I did something, or my behavior has changed, which is go against the social value, against the morality of my country, of my society, of my reputation, of my family. So you can do some research and get some report from different NGO, different sources, that this is the structure. For example, in Saudi or in Middle Eastern Islamic country, Iran. So here is very strict law, and if you do something against this, if your behavior against their value, then you will be prosecuted. So you can bring the sources. There are lots of sources journal, articles published in different newspaper, so you can produce this as a evidence. Now, you know, to be honest, you know, the caseworker who will, the immigration officer who will take your interview, he is a human being. So put yourself in the position of his shoe and ask yourself, the story I'm telling to the immigration officer, does it make sense? Does it credible? Will I believe it? Or a counter question come? So, for example, you claim I'm a president of one party of a region in Bangladesh or Pakistan or in Syria. Now, thousands of people like you are living in your home country. They are not being prosecuted. Why you will be prosecuted? How you live on that? For example, many students coming to the UK are claiming asylum. Many students. I don't take cases where I see that the story is not a genuine, there is no credibility. Before I make any appointment or take the application, I ask myself that is this a genuine case? Whether you do have a genuine fear, or you just making things up to abuse the system. And if this is the case, I personally don't take the case, because I can't mislead an authority. Now, thousands of students coming from Bangladesh and they are seeking asylum in the UK. I didn't take a single case for asylum. Many people contacted in my office, because these people who come to study in the UK and seeking asylum from Bangladesh, saying political reason, most of them are fabricated story, and I know you are destroying your future. That's why I'm open live. I'm advising my dear brothers and sisters, don't go to the route which you are destroying your family, which are destroying your future. Do the study. Be honest with the authority. If you be honest with the authority, if you study, you have a good future. Seeking asylum as a student, come to the study in the UK, say you are seeking asylum for, you will get a temporary protection, maybe 6 months or 1 year. After that, your asylum will be refused, you will be deported to your back home. Or whatever the opportunity will come in future, you will lose this opportunity. So my advice for Bangladeshi student, don't go to that route. Please carry on study. You have given 12,000, 14,000, 10,000 pounds from your parents' pocket, and now you are not going to university. You will come here, start working, and then going to somewhere and get advice or do something, and then seek asylum. You become free, working full time. What's the life? But this life is for time being, and you suffer one day. You'll suffer one day. So that is all about today. This is a brief advice about asylum, and many asylum seekers from different country are stuck. So there are the thing is, what I would advise you now, if your asylum is still pending to the Home Office, day after day, month after month, you are not getting any decision. My advice will be, you need to do something by yourself. Don't rely on lawyer only. You can chase up the Home Office, write a letter to the Home Office, send an email, call them. The last resource, what I advise, and this is very strong remedy, is contact with your local MP. Explain to the MP, this is my situation, send an email, call them, call to the secretary, and ask the MP, give your details, your name, reference number, asylum application number, AIC number, and then tell the MP to send an email. These MP are very helpful. Most of them send email. So MP will send an email to the Home Office, Home Secretary. For the MP, House of Commons, they have a department in the Home Office where they only respond the MP question, MP email. So generally, if an MP send an email to the Home Office, they get a result within 3 to 4 weeks. So this is the best option to utilize, and you will get an update. Many people are waiting month after month to get a decision for the asylum claim. Now, other group of people who came in the UK as a child, they seek asylum. They refuse, as I said before, the Home Office refuse, either in credibility grounds or any other grounds. Now, what you should do? Now, if your asylum claim refused, and if you are waiting for a long time, you can make, and you don't have any application is outstanding to the Home Office, then you can seek a fresh claim. What is fresh claim? Fresh claim is called further submission. So you need to go to the Home Office. You need to make an appointment in Liverpool, but before go there, you need to make your case. I have submitted, as when I start, I have submitted a couple of further submission this year, and Alhamdulillah, I am so pleased and grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All the decision come. Most of only one or two my further submission is outstanding, and on most of the case the result come and very positive. Hopefully my viewers in Facebook, they will acknowledge. I will not mention their name, as I legally I need to keep confidential everything. But if those asylum seeker whose asylum application has been refused, or 2 years, 3 years is pending, you don't have any result, I would advise you can make a further submission on the ground the change of circumstance. So especially for Afghan nationals, you have a golden opportunity. The Home Office are very soft-hearted. On Afghan national, they are giving most of the decision, so you can make a further submission to the Home Office. So this is all about today, my viewers. Inshallah, I'll carry on my update from now on, hopefully regular basis. You take care, everyone.